We're supposed to start.
Where's the Yehuda Deitch?
Playing hooky as usual, like the days in Waterbury, I think. Rabbi Kalish, you're speaking to us tonight about out of town stuff. I think you need no introduction being so famous, so jump right in.
I first want to thank everybody for having me. Specifically, I was called by Reb Yehuda Deitch, and I have a tremendous appreciation. I'm looking now and feel very comfortable here. Tzviki and I are old friends, and I look around. Yetzi Bloomstein, the Chevra here is very familiar to me. I really appreciate Yehuda Deitch and have been zeicher to watch him and his wife, his precious son Pinny, and they're impressive people, and an honor to join him. Since for many, many years, I am not zeicher to a personal, but I was zeicher to live in Sanhedrin Rechevet, and Reb Berkovits spoke every other week at the Tzrif. I davened at a different minyan, but I would go there for the weeks he spoke. I wanted to hear his Torah, and he's somebody I appreciate Reb Berkowitz's Torah a lot, and have been zeicher when things happen in Klal Yisrael. I always like tuning in to what Reb Berkovits says. His Torah resonates by me, and he doesn't need my askama in any which way, but I just share your appreciation for your Rebbe Reb Berkovits. I appreciate his Torah, the clarity on any chag when he speaks about a Yom Tov. When he speaks about any chag that he speaks about, it looks to me like it's nailed, it's precise, it resonates by me. So I share your appreciation. Clearly learning Uriel chose this kollel, so I also very much appreciate Reb Berkovits. I was asked to talk about the topic the way I understand it. I'd like to share some thoughts with everybody here. I want to start by saying, obviously there are thoughts of kiruv and chinuch, out of town rabbanos. I want to say, and I want to say like this: there's no industry of warmth. There's no industry called kiruv, and I want to explain it. In Waterbury is known as a very warm yeshiva. So we like package warmth, and maybe like we sell warmth. That's very not real. And most intelligent people will see through that. A yeshiva is only warm if the rebbeim are warm to each other. The secret to Waterbury is the rebbeim like each other. My kids were raised in this yeshiva. The other rebbeim are awesome to my children. And there's an honest relationship amongst the rebbeim. There's no such thing as a yeshiva. It's a warm place if the rebbeim are not warm to each other. If a rebbe is not warm to his wife and kind and caring and considerate, he does not have a warm yeshiva. He's packaging a farce. And the impact of a yeshiva, the impact of an out-of-town Rav, is as much as he is to his own children, he can then spread that light. The light that exists, that's real. Now, I admit there are people that are charismatic and people package all sorts of shkarim, and I don't say a person will have no impact, but I don't think it will be enduring and powerful and true, and sheker doesn't last. A yeshiva to be a warm place, and this speaks to an out-of-town Rav, it speaks to kiruv. For a yeshiva to be a warm place means that people are kind and considerate to each other. That's what it means. I have a friend who took over a yeshiva, who's becoming in charge. His first line of business is that the rebbeim should like each other and care about each other, because like I'm saying, there's no like, Waterbury is warm because the rebbeim are nice to each other and kind and like each other. And that warmth can be shared outside also. I was once studying, a guy I'm close to was asking Shilas of tzedakah, and he wanted to research things about tzedakah. And we were learning the halachas, where he should give. He came to a lot of money, where he should give charity. And anybody who studies the way the construction of a giver is those that are close to you come first. Your brother comes first, your own block comes first. The construction of a giver is to give to those that are close to you first. And then healthily it can extend out. The person becomes a giver by giving to his wife, to his children, and then he could share that with the public. The most dynamic kiruv suda to any sophisticated person, and the way it will play out philosophically, you have a whole bunch of people sitting by your table. Are you focused on Jeff and Ken and Barbara and ignoring your wife and children, and they watch your kiruv activity? That's a certain type. I find that very, very fake. And you're trying to package warmth and package Yiddishkeit, not being a living example of Yiddishkeit. A person at the best kiruv for Jeff, Barbara, and Ken to see is to see you interact with your wife, that you're focused. Your wife's at the table, you're talking to her. You're focused on your children and you share with other people. I want to describe what a good mechanech is, what I think a good mechanech is, and in turn what a good out-of-town rav is and a good mekarev is. A good mechanech to the secular world is a person of charisma. They're charismatic. They could take a dry subject, math, science, chumash, Gemara. I don't call those intrinsically dry, but what youngsters might consider dry. And they're so charismatic and excited. He's a geschmacka Rebbe. That in the secular world makes a good educator. He's so much fun, and there's a good thing to being fun. It's a good thing to being cool. That certainly could attract people. But a mechanech, an educator in the secular world, is good at packaging something and take a subject uninteresting to the youth and package it well enough. In our world, what a good mechanech, what I see works and is dynamic and everlasting, it's hard for us all to be authentic. It's very, very difficult. We're all working. I'm working, and through guys, I have discovered many places that Daniel Kalish hides from. I have conflict avoidant tendencies, insecurities, and I'm trying to look inside. I have learned from guys who are honest, incredibly honest, and have called me out. You're being sweet, but are you looking into yourself? Are you feeling? Are you processing all different places inside of yourself? A good mechanech, a good mekarev is an authentic person who taps into authenticity for yourself, which is difficult. Now, as difficult as it is, and the courage it takes to be honest and real and working out and accepting of self, then the next step, which is murder, you know how hard it is to be real in front of people? I'm sitting in front of a screen now of boxes that many of them I know, and some people I don't, and I want to sound geschmack and afterwards say, oh, was that cool? Did I say right? I want Yehuda Deitch as my friend. I want him to be happy with the product I deliver. And to be authentic and to look into yourself. Daniel, are you saying what you believe? Are you saying what you feel? Are you giving over something authentic? It's hard enough to be authentic yourself. To then do it in public is murder. A good mechanech is the ability to be authentic yourself and share that light with others. That's the way. That's a good mekarev, to be authentic and then to share with others authenticity. That's the most powerful are in the world. The ones who have the most impact are authentic and share it with others. It's nicker, it's recognizable to others. When I look for a Rebbe, I look for somebody. Charisma is very low down, though there are skills to have and could help. But when I look for people that are authentic and could share that authenticity with others, it's very, very difficult to have it and to share it. And in the process of sharing, we often can lose ourselves. Get back to yourself. I have watched people in positions, everybody who's doing kiruv, you'll have times to speak as a mashal. They're all different cheap tricks. When you speak, you could say something dramatic, you could say something controversial. That's a way of maybe it will go viral. I'll knock this, I'll rip that. And I find all those things are not lasting and they do not have a strong power. The strongest power is to stick who you are, what you believe. All of us have things we connect to deeply. Always spread and share what you connect deeply to. We have deep things inside of ourselves. We have Torah that resonates by us. People ask all the time, you want to be Mekayr of somebody, what should I learn with him? What should I teach him? Where's the trick? Where's the safer? Learn this with people, it will blow them away. You could study anything on earth with people. If it resonates by you, the Torah talks to us and things, and what resonates, every one of us here have different things that resonate by us. When things resonate by us and I'm willing to share with the next person, I'm open-minded to share it with the next person, it will resonate by the next person. So that's my first thing I want to share is there's no kiruv industry. Kiruv is the guy who's excellent to his wife, share it with Ken as well. Include him in that which you have and that which you are. It's massively impactful. We have a wealth of goodness. We have a wealth of Yiddishkeit. We are souls, powerful souls, and we have a Torah that our soul craves, and we have a Torah that resonates by us. Share that with the next person. I say to anybody going into kiruv, really work on our own self, our own relationship with wife, our own relationship with children, to be a person who's very connected to ideals, and you'll find your own style, your own power, your own things that you're passionate about, and you'll share that with the next. That's kiruv and that's chinuch. And that makes it hits its mark, it makes a massive impact. So that's the first thing I wanted to share. The first thing I would tell anybody going to kiruv, much like this friend who started a yeshiva, is that his first line of business is to make sure the Rebbeim are crazy about each other. There's a brotherhood and a chevreshaft and a closeness of the Rebbeim. The first thing I would say a guy going to kiruv is to be mechazik his relationship to his wife. Whatever good it is, make it better. In kiruv, somebody's very alone. You're out of town, you're far away, and what you're in a yeshiva, it's the Rebbeim, and you're welcoming people to Rebbeim. In kiruv, you're welcoming in people. When you're out of town to you and your wife, that should be dynamic and powerful. Develop that. Put a lot of kaiches there because you're sharing that. I want to say a secret to everybody here. This wasn't a schmooze on marriage. And I just want to say things that I do feel. I don't want to speak about speaking what you feel about and talk. I want to say that when you have a dynamic marriage, you're a tiger. And if you and your wife are honestly close and sincere about it and developing the friendship, building it up, you go anywhere, you're a powerful force because you have something. You have connection. The Torah is a world of connection, and you have something that you've built and developed and have it in a sincere way. You have a lot to share with the world. Share that. Invite others in. Invite somebody to a Shabbos table that exists. That's amazingly powerful. I want to tell you that I was Zaycha now for the 7th year row in yeshiva. I have a child, B'siyata D'Shmaya, who learns in yeshiva for the 7th year running. And I'm praying, my son is 50-50. I hope he comes back. He's officially 12th grade. I hope he comes back. That would be my 8th year next year. A Yid in Eretz Yisrael called me and he asked me that I heard you have a son in your shir for years. My son is joining my shir. Do you have any advice? And I told him that on younger kids, this would not apply because the sugyas of jealousy. I told him on older kids, my advice is your son is first, second, third, fourth, your son is first. And I said, any sophisticated person looks how you treat their son. The best hope is for them to become a son. So any sophisticated person will look, if you're nice to the bacher, to the person you're being mekarev, what happens when they become in your family? Of course, all of us, it's a tendency, somebody far, we want to prove to Ken that we're so nice and kind. But what happened when Ken becomes a ben bias, when he becomes a ben? And being mechazik our own relationship to our sons. And then Ken's best hope is he'll become a ben also, but you're good to your banim. I say it in an honest way to everybody here, be mechazik your relationship to your wife and children. It could be good, make it great. That's what you're going with. And that's what you're allowing people to enter. Avram Avinu, who started our people, is very fascinating as a family. It's Avram and Sarah. It's the base Avram. It's very interesting. We could have started with a yeshiva, and we have a Rebbe who joined. You have Moshe Rabbeinu, but it's interesting that our people started with a family. I think a guy goes to do kiruv out of town. He's bringing a mishpacha. That's what he's going armed with, and he's inviting people into his world. I say to be mechazik your world. Be mechazik, accept your world, and be mechazik your world in a very, very, very strong way. Be mechazik your world. That's my first message that I want to share. I think it's a sugya. I think for all of us, it's a unique sugya, being mechazik, and whatever good it is, make it better. That being mechazik, that world is how you're doing kiruv, how you're doing chinuch. You're allowing people in. Be mechazik that. There are other things to do than it's tricks, and that I can't support that or say that's very authentic. I could say that if we're mechazik our world, then we can allow people in and have a tremendous impact. The second message that I would say to everybody here that's learning Torah and has this dream to share Torah, I think we come from Avram Avinu. Any person wants to share the Torah. Is I want to say the following point. We call it kiruv, sounds like we are close and somebody's rachik and we're bringing them close. And I want to say that in moments of honesty, I don't look at souls, I don't know people, neshamas, I don't have those eyes. We have gedolim and tzaddikim who can clearly see things that many of us can't see. And I want to say that in a deep, deep way, we're looking at people, whether the person is struggling and not yet from, whether the person was once from and struggling off the derech. I'm a soul, and all the boxes here are souls. We're neshamas. Now we have a world, we have a personality. In many, many ways, the person in front of you is not broken. They have a soul. You have to approach them knowing that, almost intimidated. There's a soul here, and I'm a soul and you're a soul, and the person might be a bigger soul. I remember one night, dorm counselors woke me up 4 a.m, and there was a particular bacher who was giving them a hard time. They knocked on my door at 4 a.m. You need to deal with this bacher. He was going absolutely crazy. And I walked with him from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the morning. And you find out when you walk in the middle of the night with somebody, it's a very vulnerable time. And the kid, we spoke for 3 hours, and he shared with me that this guy, who by anybody's view would be a troubled youth, he had a notebook of letters he wrote to God. Do you hear me? Practical person, a kid, he's 16 years old at the time. He had a notebook of letters he's written to God. I'm 48. I have no notebook of letters I've written to God. I saw this from him. I lost my mind. There's a practical guy. People would pass by, would call him a struggling youth. He has a notebook of letters he wrote to Hashem. And I was very, very like taken by him. I ended up making a deal. I said, you're very close to Hashem. I want you to impact my relationship to Hashem. That sincerity, that realness, he writes letters to Hashem. I want you to impact me. I think you have health issues. I think I could help you. I'll make a deal. I'll try to help with your health issues if you help me with my relationship to Hashem. And I want to say that a big part of kiruv and a big part of chinuch is the awareness that you're dealing with a soul who might, by the way, be a bigger soul than you and I. And that matters. We certainly have things we want to teach and things we want to impact, but understand who you're dealing with. Rev Hirsch has a line that the bedrock of education is kavod, that the basis, the base of education is respect. The Rambam in Hilchas Talmud Torah says a Rebbe, in Parakei Halacha Yud Gimel, says a Rebbe is mechuyev to mechabed his talmidim. Respect is not a superficial thing. It's not like externally, oh, you're a nice kid, pat, you're very nice. Respect is davar pnimi. It's what Iker Kavod b'machshava, the Chai Adam writes. Respect is something what we hold passionately, what we believe alone. the main impact we'll have on somebody is when we're impressed with them, but real, not what we say, and it's an avodah. What I say it takes to be impressed with somebody, and please everybody hear this, because I think it's true. What do you need to be impressed with people? What's the trick? The trick is to accept yourself. The trick is complete acceptance of self. If you don't accept yourself with our flaws, with all our shenanigans, with all our funny parts that all of us have, if you don't accept yourself, you don't see people as good. I've seen it. And if we would all be butterflies, we'd fly into a room, we'd see a room of tzaddikim. People would look good to us, and we would want good for people. What stops us from seeing good at people, it's a Gemara Kedushin called Apoisel B'mumay Poisel. Our own insecurities cause us to see not good in people. The main weapon you need to do kiruv is to hold to yourself and accept yourself. With our flaws, I'm flawed, you're flawed, he's flawed. We're human. We're all humans, very human. Insecurities and troubles and worries and mistakes, we're human. A deep acceptance of self, an appreciation of self, allows us to see good in the people we're dealing with. And when we see good, we can impact. When you see a soul, you can impact. Allow me, Uriel, to share a gift Hashem gave me. And I don't know if there's supposed to be questions. I'm talking straight. I'm going to pause after this thought and look for questions. Allow me to share a gift Hashem gave me. It was Shmini Atzeres. And I was thinking about Shmini Atzeres. I was during Shemini Esrei. It was Shmini Atzeres. And Shmini Atzeres is from the happiest days of the calendar, Ach Sameach. And Shmini Atzeres celebrates Libun, the purification from sin. It's Ach is the Chaf Aleph days, the Sfas Emes, the 21 days from Rosh Hashanah through Hoshana Rabbah, and then we explode Simcha, Nagila V'Nismecha Bach. Bach is 22, the 22nd day, the great joy of Kaparas Avonos. And I asked myself, do I believe I had a great Rosh Hashanah? Did I have a great Aseret Yimei Teshuvah? How did I do Yom Kippur, Hoshana Rabbah? So all the imperfection of those days makes my Simcha less. So what's my Shmini Atzeres? How fired up am I? All those space outs during Yom Kippur. All the time I wasn't concentrating. How much tshuva did I do Aseret Yimei Teshuvah? So is my Simcha mitigated? Ach Sameach, Simcha, oh wow, and we see tzaddikim and great people who have a joy, the Graz joy, we read in Ma'aseh Rav, Simchas Torah. So where do we stand? And let's say somebody completely failed during the 21 days. So tell them, wait, I looked in my Siddur when it said, the Shmini Atzeres, if there was a little notation that if you just became from, wait to next year. I didn't see anything like that. So what's the Ach Sameach for a guy who joined Yiddishkeit the day of Shmini Atzeres? What's the Simcha? He didn't have the Libun. And Hashem put a gift in my mind, and I want to say something that's just true. Ach Sameach is Hashem saying, Ikvi'imi Yom Echad, I want you. And Shmini Atzeres is a place. And there's a place of perfection in all of us. It's called the soul. I'm a soul, you're a soul. There's a place of us that's not broken at all. Of course, tshuva allows me to access that place. And it's true. The better I had in the 21 days, the more I'll be in touch with the place that's pure, because I have ikuvim because of my flaws. But the reality of that soul that Hashem says, Ikvi imi yom echad, is true no matter what type of 21 days I have. The fact that it's shaykh to get to that place is because that place is a reality and a fact. Shmini Atzeres is a place of perfection in you and I. It's already many months later, I came back to yeshiva looking at myself differently and the guys. We are precious souls, you and I, powerful, on fire souls. Of course, we have a world and we have challenges, but seeing preciousness in people will allow you to impact them. It's hard to see good in people because we're blocked by your own insecurities. And I say to anybody who wants to be a good Mekarev and a good Mechanech, to accept ourselves and our own difficulties, but profoundly to accept ourselves. The more self-acceptance, the more people will look wonderful. And when we see people as wonderful, as impressive, I try to hire Rebbeim that are Mechabed Bachrim. Kavod is not externally. The Rebbeim by us are people that are impressed, I dare say intimidated practically. They're dazzled by people. I want somebody, who so accepts himself, he's able to accept others, and he could look at others and appreciate and be impressed. And at that place, we could have a massive impact in somebody else. Like Rav Hirsch writes those words, the bedrock of education is kavod. The massive way we can impact somebody is seeing their specialness, is being impressed and being dazzled by others. Whether we're moving to Kentucky, whether we're moving to Florida, whether we're moving to Connecticut or New York or anywhere else, the impact on others is seeing the essential preciousness that's there. At the point that we're impressed by people authentically, and moved and taken, of course, we all have challenges. It's a world of challenges. We all have nisyonos. We all have our difficulties, but we're precious souls. The more we could see it, you deal with Bachrim, you're dealing with somebody we don't know. So we say kiruv rechaikim. I don't know where karev is rachaik. We're all karev and rachaik. But it's two neshamis. It's two neshamis. Now, certainly we have so much preciousness. People are learning in such a koil, and I look at the B'nai Torah here, we have a wealth of preciousness. We are a lot, and we have a lot, and we can impact somebody who also is a lot. So again, we are a lot, and we have a lot, and we can impact somebody who is a lot. And I think that kavod and respect that we'll have to people that we engage with can allow us to make tremendous impact. I have seen the vibe of people who disrespect others. I once told the Mechanech that till you're on vacation with your wife and you're in Hawaii and you're talking about Bachrim, but you're like nishtaimim from them, you're not really going to have a big impact because you look down. We spoke before, there are two things I want to know in the yeshiva, what goes on in the Rebbe's room. I want to know whether Rebbeim loving of each other, respecting, appreciating, but mamish mechazik, that I want to know. And I want to know how they talk about Bachrim. Is it condescending? Is it, you heard what he did, what he said? Or is it like a sense of, there's a certain respect, a certain appreciation. When we're mechabed, we can have an impact. But when we're really mechabed, I think self-acceptance for anybody who wants to do kiruv and chinuch, learning to accept ourselves in a real way, and not to, we're human, we're so human, but we're wonderful humans, and accepting ourselves in a deep and profound way allows, you'll know your self-acceptance. There's a simple litmus test. When you see good in others around you, you're self-accepting. If you see flaws in people, ask yourself what you don't accept about yourself. And a deep self-acceptance and appreciation of ourselves, who are wonderful, allows us to see good in others. And when we see good in others, we can impact others. So that's what I wanted to, that's really what I wanted to share with the Chevra. I could talk more. I'd love a few minutes of, if there are questions, observations, I'd love to hear. If not, I could talk longer. Is Rai Blackman, are you running this?
Yehuda Deutsch is running it.
As usual in our call, nobody's really running it. You can set your own rules, Rabbi Kalish.
Thank you. I
You prefer a question? You can ask
a lot that
questions.
you're having me.
You prefer no questions? You can have questions.
If there are any questions.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So what happens if you're put into an organization and you are wholesome, and at the end of the day, there is always some people that just get on your nerves, and you're put together and you're there to work with him together. What do you do then? You guys are working together, someone you don't like, there's something there that bothers you. Now what?
Yeah, I want to say a few points to that. I want to say that, again, I want to reiterate that the more we accept people and the more we're close to people we're working with, the more our organization will be successful. Any place, I want to say, Maish, to that anything we're doing, anything, there could be difficulties to the situation. There could be difficulties, and learning how to navigate difficulties, part of what we give over, our own nisyanis, a part of what we could give over to others. So our own working through difficult people and difficult situations is not a side point to the kiruv and the impact we make. So how we deal with that, there are difficult people out there. How we deal with that difficult person is not a side point. If I have like a very secular and a very superficial way of chinuch, I'm trying to be magical, and no, I'm a human being who has frail people. My own adjustment to that person is what I can give other people. I include them in a real person with real life's challenges. But I want to share something else with you, Maish. I want to share something else with everybody here that matters to me a lot. I see my son, Maishi's here, CJ Kurtz, my good friend, my son and CJ, I thank them. I want to share with everybody here something that I think you might find cool. I have faced in yeshiva many obstacles, and I've gotten frustrated. And I ask Hashem, what are you doing? Anything you'll do, you're talking specifically a challenge of somebody you work with. And this is not what you were asking, but I want to say that anything we do, we're going to face obstacles. And I have asked myself that, what do you want, Hashem? Don't you like what I'm doing? Why do you make it so hard? I've been part of yeshiva that's been thrown out of a city by the government. We had no place. Tremendous pressure. We were shut down for 2 months. We've gone through a lot over the years. And I asked myself, what does Hashem want? I asked myself, what do you want? We're doing your will. Reb Noach Weinberg used to say, he famously said that Hashem controls the traffic lights. And if I'm going right, he'll make all the lights green. And yet I see tremendous Yad Hashem. I have seen many miracles from Hashem. I'm amazed by that. And yet I've seen obstacles as well. What is that? Shouldn't there be only easy? And I want to be honest, this question, it's not an old question. I still struggle with it at times. But I want to tell you something, Moshe, that I have the following question. Bilam faces an obstacle, and the obstacle tells Bilam, stop. Stop. What are you doing? Why are you traveling to curse the Jewish nation? And the obstacle, Bilam is supposed to understand, don't smack your donkey, stop. That makes sense to me. Obstacles say stop. And yet the Avos, our holy Avos, faced tremendous obstacles, and yet they kept going forward. And yet the Avos, I see somebody on the chat wrote, like Reb Nachman said, Kefi Minias is the Chshivas Ha'inyan. So Maish, it's what's going on? I don't get it. The Avos faced obstacles, Esav, Parai, Lavan, terrible obstacles. And yet they kept going, and they saw obstacles Hashem wants me to fight through. Bilam's obstacle said, stop, I don't understand. How am I supposed to know? And if it's not, Hashem talks clearly, how am I supposed to know? And anything anybody here wants to do, you will face obstacles. So maybe it's telling you stop. How do you know? And I've come to the following conclusion, Moshe. This is what I think. When I say conclusion, I'm a young man. This is what I'm thinking now. This is what I think right now. Obstacles are only one message to rethink what you're doing. All obstacles to everybody, to Bilam and to Avram, Lahavdil, are saying rethink what you're doing. When Bilam rethinks what he's doing, he quits. That's what he should do if he's honest. He should quit, because what he wants to do is wrong, and absolutely he should quit. That's what Bilam should do. When the Avos have obstacles, what they should do is rethink. And they rethink, they decide to do it again, but with much more passion. You become a tiger. I had a minor procedure a week and a half ago. When I woke up, I decided to start the school again. I sent a text to Rabbi Zone a Rebbe in yeshiva, please gather the Rebbeim. I'll be home. Please, 12 o'clock, if all the Rebbeim could come to my house. I opened the yeshiva again. I was very relieved. The doctor said everything's fine. And I started the yeshiva again. And obstacles make us rethink what we do. And you're supposed to rethink what you do. And I want to say to anybody here, all of us with dreams of accomplishing, you will face obstacles. And the obstacles absolutely are meant, just like by Bilam, to rethink. And you might rethink, and if you're wrong, you'll stop. That's what was supposed to happen by Bilam. If you're right, you'll double down on your efforts. You'll be a tiger. You'll decide ever fresh, ever anew. Obstacles are wonderful. It doesn't always feel that way. They're difficult. They're difficult, and they challenge everything about you and force you to rethink everything, as you should. But then you say, you know what, I want to do this. So everybody here, it's not just making the choice once to go into kiruv, to go into Mechanech, to go into impact. I hope you make that choice every time you face an obstacle. When you face an obstacle, think about it. Think what you're doing, think why you're doing, and you'll commit ever harder to what you decided. So Moshe asked the Kash about dealing with difficult people. I'm answering 2 points. The difficulties in idealism, the difficult people you face, you should rethink if you should do what you're doing. Every time your donkey's blocked, you should reface. Don't smack the donkey, rethink. If you decide it's right, become a tiger. Fight harder for what you believe, what you're doing. That's one point I want to say to Moshe. The second point is I want to say our own unique challenges that we face in our life are not separate from the external job. It's not in the way this difficult person I'm dealing with, it sounds like in all, I'm trying to impact, I'm trying to be Mekarev, and I have these difficulties. My inner battles and my private struggles, as I'm succeeding, I could share that with the world, not by telling them about the difficult guy, but by being a person who navigated a difficult person. I think the private struggles help us be real to the external things that we want to give over. So yeah, you should view difficulties in your own private life with people around you as opportunities to enhance ourselves and to be more, to give more. So I think it's a very important view of the private struggle. The more we succeed in those, we can then share with others. If there could be more questions, Chaim Guri's here. I'm excited. I didn't know Chaim's here. Chaim, it's awesome to be with you. We have Shmulik Menachemov's here. I'm just excited.
I have a question.
I'm sorry?
I have a question. I guess a questioner?
Who's asking? I need to identify. I want to know who I'm talking to.
Mar.
Mar, I'm honored to meet you. Please ask.
I want to know when was like in your whole Mechanech kiruv career, when did you have like the best, what happened that you had like the best feeling? Like the best number one top moment?
Wow. It's an honestly intelligent question. I'm not a pretend person. I could answer when Waterbury won a playoff game, when the Wolfpack beat TABC in the playoffs in a raucous gym, but I'll sound so funny to you. I'll expose myself like that's your excitement. You won a playoff game. So I don't want to answer that. It doesn't sound from enough. It's a very intelligent question. I'm not prepared. I have to think through it, not to just answer there. I'd say in any career, there are many beautiful moments, and you have to take the beautiful moments and really like gain chizuk and strength from the beautiful moments. And there are many challenging moments, and like every aspect of life, I can answer you like a good moment and the best moment. I want to say and say this, Mar. It doesn't answer your question. I'm not in chinuch. There are people who are in chinuch who love the adventure and they live in excitement through somebody else's excitement. That's not me. I know people that like a book waiting to happen. I don't think I'll ever have a book. and they're like waiting to publish the good story. Oh my gosh, I'm very into the adventures of my life and my own story. I've hit some big jump shots in my life and missed some big ones in my life. I once beat my novel with a 3 with a few seconds left, and I've taken some bad shots. I try to forget when those happen. I don't live through the chinuch, and kiruv has a lot of adventure. Learn to appreciate your own adventure. I don't know if it's safe if the external adventure is your excitement. So you'd be surprised that a lot of my successes and the best moments were my own successes, more than a guy did this and a guy did that. In an honest way, my own private things that I might not even want to share right now would be my happiest moments. It might be a time that all of us, I could tell you times that I put my wife over the whole yeshiva, and that was like in a tough case. Those are important moments. I'll be honest, I felt like tremendous internal victories in those. So it's funny, you say your best moments. Let me tell you a story, Mar. Could I share a story with you? Reb Yitzchak went to Reb Yisrael. Reb Yisrael raised Talmidim that was selfless. That was a big teaching of Reb Yisrael, to be selfless. Reb Yitzchak was 25 years old, and he was offered to be the Rav of St. Petersburg. You had the opportunity to impact 1 million Jews if you took the job. And he asked his Rebbe if he should take the job. Now, all of us in our own journeys could picture the Shaila, our own dreams, and we want to give an impact. And this was his big chance to impact. And he asked Reb Yisrael Salanter, should he teach? Should he become the Rav of St. Petersburg? An opportunity to affect 1 million Yidden. And Reb Yisrael's answer was shocking. He said, Reb Yitzchak, you're a davener. You're a good prayer. You daven well. Is it good for your davening or bad for your davening? Now that is like, what are you talking about? He wants to impact 1 million Jews. His Rebbe had taught him to be selfless. And Reb Yitzchak said, are you a good davener or not? Are you a good davener? I'm enjoying the whole speech. There's a younger man holding a child. And that guy, that's a guy I'd hire. That's kiruv. That's like the face of kiruv and Mechanech. I appreciate that a lot. But
Thank you, Rabbi.
You should have tremendous nachas, tremendous nachas. Megadol l'Torah l'chupel l'maisim tovim. I wanna say that what's pshat, Reb Yitzchak was told you're a good davener. Is it good for your davening or not? That sounds so selfish. And here he can impact 1 million Yidden. Shouldn't he put aside his own needs? And I think the ikar of kiruv and chinuch is sharing self with the world. Reb Yisrael was telling him, if a davener would be if that would help your internal worlds, then you'll be powerful externally. So when Mar asked, like, your big moments, I've had many exhilarating moments in chinuch. And I've been to guys celebrating siyumim is a tremendous moment, and I love it and feel a very big pride in that. And seeing guys, I've gone to weddings that have been, I'm thinking of certain weddings, Mar, when you say it, weddings that were like incredible to be there. A wedding of a guy who's written off and doing a wonderful shidduch. I've been to brisim that have been incredibly exhilarating. So there've been a lot of very special moments. I want to say that our own work and our own growth, I can't say it enough, have been very magical to me. So when I was able to have internal victories, that matters a lot. It's not just being cool and saying something, it's a truth. So I say to Mar that it's fascinating that Reb Yisrael told Reb Yitzchak, of course, he wanted him to be selfless, but share the davener with the world. You're a davener. So Reb Yitzchak probably had a lot of magical moments in St. Petersburg. I didn't want to give away the end of the story, so I didn't tell you his name's of Yitzchak Peterburg, because obviously he took the job. So Vice Tyson was good for a davener. But I want to say there are many magical moments. Anybody who has this attitude I'm talking about the internal victories being important, working through my own relationships with people I work with, whether it's a wife or a coworker, will understand what I'm saying, that magical moments are not always what externally that person you Mechanech became and did. It will be your own internal victories. So there are definitely a lot of beautiful, wonderful, exciting moments, many a chasna that you sit there and just like, wow. And many accomplishments that are very good feelings. I could think about the question and come up with like a list of top 10, but I think internal victories are very, very important in the whole way I'm thinking. That our own successes, our own patiences with our children, those would occupy a lot of the places on the list, to be honest. So that's what I want to say.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds like we hear a lot about that the best feeling in the world is to give to someone else and to impact. But it sounds like from what Rebbe's saying that that's not really the best feeling. It's more of internal things and things that you yourself do.
I don't want to take away. There's an excitement, there's a magic to chinuch and kiruv. You go out of town and you're a tiger and you're impacting a community and we're all human. We all like kavod. People are standing up. We like that. People are excited and people are energized by what you're doing. And there's a magic to it all. And I don't want to lessen that magic. I don't want to be a pretend. There's a lot of exciting things. Those are all cool stuff. Those are cool stuff. And even when you describe the best thing impacts somebody else, gives an energy to us, no question. Through somebody else's excitement, we gave an excitement. I think as we age, the things that become like the most important are very internal. Now, we're not selfish. We want to take our light and share it. We're all about giving it. And when we're sharing our light, but precisely when it's our light being shared is very exhilarating. So the question, Mar, there's a lot of excitement in chinuch and kiruv, and certainly exhilarating for a family to be involved in meaningful pursuits. We're all born to impact. So it's certainly exhilarating. I think there's a person knows their own flaws. So I think the more we have the inner work together, Itzel, you're a good davener. Is it good for you davening or not? The more the good davener impacts, that's exhilarating. When the best exhilarating thing is when it's deep within, you feel like something of you was shared. So those are very, very powerful deeply. But I'm not taking away, there's a lot of excitement and frustration. It wouldn't be fair not to say that there are challenges. That wouldn't be honest either. Anything real has the excitements that Hashem sends to keep us in it and to keep our energy up. And it has the challenges to make sure that we don't become stale, that we decide to do it. Both are accurate, but for sure, giving, we're born to give to others, that for sure is powerful. I think the best thing we can give to others is a piece of ourselves. Rev Itzel, you're a davener. If it's good for you davening, share the davener with the world. Those are like very profound successes and profoundly positive. When we're deeply connected to what we're giving, I think it's very, very fired up and positive. That's how I would say it. If there are more questions, if not,
can I ask a question?
Yes, who's I just not good with
Yitzi Bloomstein.
Yetzi, Reb Yetzi, how are you? I want to sing.
Hashem?
I want to sing Mamleches Kehanim, this week's parsha.
Beautiful.
It's
I'll sing it together with Uriel. Where's Uriel?
I'm sorry?
I said I'll sing it together with Uriel.
Let's go.
And Cookie, where's your guitar?
Like the Zoom is on COVID.
Yeah, Vada.
Can I ask the Rebbe a question?
Yeah, should we first do Vatim Tiuli or first your question, your request first?
Okay, so the question is, the Rebbe is telling us how we have to really love all of Klal Yisrael, and we have to be in touch with ourselves and love ourselves. I think I speak for myself when I say that, I still have a long way to go. So at what point can I say I'm ready to go and help Klal Yisrael, and I'm good, but even though it's still a long process.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to be ready. So the answer, Yitzi, is we're never ready. We're never ready for the schus. I say as long as we're an honest person that's working, that's honestly working, we're powerful. We're big people. We're all big people. I can't answer like when we're ready. I don't know a formula. I think a lot is their needs. And when in your heart a need appears, grab it and do it. I think the more we see a need and we jump in and the makom sheinish, we jump in and we with ourselves, with our koiches, allow our light to shine in that place of need. I don't think a person will ever feel ready. I don't know anybody. I haven't met that person who feels ready. I certainly don't feel ready yet. But Hashem guides us, and there are times things come up, jump in and do it. The person who doesn't feel ready is probably the best one suited for the job. I want to hire people who don't feel ready. I don't want to hire somebody who feels ready. So, ready is a very difficult question. We're all works in progress. I'm 48, just discovering emotions and my own feelings. And the job itself taught it to me. Our internal battles and external area of working are very in sync. Reb Yitzchak was a good davener. Being Rav of Petersburg helped his davening, and his davening helped Petersburg. So together at your job will bring out, it will actually, I think, speed up our process of working on ourselves. If we're very present and honest in whatever tafkid we choose, our internal battles will be ongoing and our external jobs of operation will be ongoing. Don't worry about being not ready. That's what I would say.
How do we raise children in an out-of-town community, doing kiruv a lot of time, lots of out of town, while still giving them over that Jewish education properly and making them really be B'nai Torah?
I have a lot of belief, Elazar, it's a very, very strong question. I have a lot of belief in the power of family. I think it's much, I all the time people ask, should I live in Eretz Yisrael for chinuch habanim? Should I leave Eretz Yisrael for chinuch habanim? Should I raise my kids here or there? The most powerful tool for chinuch habanim is to have a great home, to have a great, great home. That's the most powerful tool in the world. Rav Asher Weiss brilliantly, I'm a Levi, and Leviim have two jobs. Some Leviim are doormen, and some Leviim are singers. I will definitely be a doorman. Chaim Guri, you're going to have tremendous pull to get into the Beis Hamikdash. I'm going to be one of the doormen. It will be open for Chaimel. Yehuda, you come when you want. Now, it's interesting. I'm not going to be a singer. I don't have the voice for it. So I does not be a singer. It's interesting. Rav Asher Weiss says it sounds like two different jobs. Some are singing, some are protecting. And Rav Asher Weiss said that they're all the same. You could protect from forces outside, but if it's not beautiful inside, there is no shmira. The singers are making it beautiful inside. Then it's shayach to have guards that don't let outside influences. I think, Elazar, wherever you raise kids, if your home is magical, so then that creates powerful children. People I respect a lot have raised kids in all different situations and environments. I have seen people raise kids at all different places. Amazing. I very much believe in the powerful home. Even I could tell you in yeshiva, what I'm trying to do these days much more is impact parents to change their home. I'll tell you a story, Elazar. Years ago, we had a guy who came in 10th grade to Waterbury. Halfway through the year, we couldn't hold him. And his father was broken. His father loved the yeshiva. His father kept coming down to yeshiva and decided, I'm absorbing the values of yeshiva and I'm making my home Waterbury. And his home became loving and respect. He changed his home. Recently, I met his son learning in the Mir Yeshiva. His son, the home is much more powerful. The home is the biggest impact on a kid, more than anything in the world. Dad and mom are the biggest impact. So that gives me a lot of chizuk. People living here. I have an aunt and uncle that raised their kids in Phoenix, Arizona. Their kids are one after another tzaddikim. The home was on fire. I believe in a home that's loving. If it puts extra pressure on a home, excellent. It says at the times of Mashiach, Eyel Elokim l'chol mishpachos Yisrael, l'chol Yisrael le'nemer, l'chol mishpachos Yisrael. I believe in a lot in the power of family. That gives a lot of chizuk wherever you raise your kids. Again, there are shilas, there are complications, wherever we are. I don't care if a guy's raising his children in Yerushalayim, in Brooklyn, in Lakewood, or in Boca, or in Kentucky. The home being a beautiful place where Yiddishkeit is lived and kept and warm. I believe in that a lot. Yeah. We still, could we sing? Are we, actually, I think we disconnected. Oh, we're back. We're back. Perfect. Yitzi, could we sing Mamlechas?
You can all feel free to sing to your heart's content. Go right ahead, Rabbi.
Yitzi, where's Yitzi? I'm not leading this because
Everybody has to unmute in order to sing also.
Yitzi, everybody should sing muted because it won't say
Oh, no.
unmuted. That's how Zoom works.
Can I have a duet? Maybe Chaim Guri could join me?
Of course, Chaim
Okay,
Chaim Guri.
Hey, Rabbi.
Chaim, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
I'm finding you. I just found Yehuda. I figured I'd go to the next page. Excellent, excellent. Let me find you. Chaim, I'm finding you.
I'm right here.
We're gonna get you. Yeah, I'm coming in.
When someone's unmuted, they go to the first page. Go back
No,
to the
Rabbi Kalish is what's it called? He's pinned, so that doesn't happen.
I'm finding Chaim. I see you who the Deutsch. I found him a little. Oh, Chaim, I got you. You look great, Chaim.
Thank
Maybe
you.
it's the Chsim Mazakin. Actually, I just didn't get the right page. Ashi came. He always saves the day. I thank Ashi for setting this up with you, the Deutsch. Chaim, you look great. Chaim,
Thank you.
could you and Yitzi, we'll all sing. We're watching mouths. If guys feel, I'll tell you the truth, that guys may feel Kalish, this is like for kids, but we're Kollel guys sitting and learning. I'll be honest, a balabas once said in my shul that I asked the chaver to sing. Nobody would say this today, but it was early in my shul. And he said, I feel like you're treating us like kids to sing. And I was thinking, what's he going to feel in the Beis Hamikdash? We sing, that's what we do. It has nothing to do with ages and stages. My aunt was an Isha Chashuva. She was a tzaddikus. And recently she's been on my mind a lot. She was a big impact in my life. She passed away at 48, an Isha tzaddikus. At the moments of her patira, she gathered her kids around her bed and asked her to sing. She didn't ask them to sing. They were singing at the moments of her patira, beautiful songs. It's not for kids. She was 48 going to Olam Haba, and she was asking her kids to sing. Chaim, let's do it. Chaim and Yitzi. If we could unmute Chaim and Yitzi. Let's sing. Everybody, we want to see mouths moving. Let's all sing Chevra. Chaim, Yitzi, could you start us?
Chaim, want to give us the key?
Chaim, yes.
Amlechas Kayanim Tili
Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash V'atem Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash V'atem Teyolim Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash V'atem Teyolim Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash V'atem Teyolim Mamlechas Kayanim Tigoy Kadash. Thank you, Yitzi. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Yitzi. Powerful, the power of a song. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, we've sang that song, Yitzi, here for many, 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 many years. So we appreciate the family. Thank you.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing.
Are you able to ask a question?
Please ask. Who's asking, please?
Aaron Balsam.
Shalom Aleichem. Are you related to Akiva Balsam?
Yeah, he is my second cousin. Yes.
Fantastic. Nice to meet you, Aaron.
Pleasure's mine. I wanted to know the Torah behind all the singing before or in middle of every share.
That's a very good question. I think it's important in Yiddishkeit that it's not just one part of ourselves to engage Yiddishkeit. I think Yiddishkeit has to be an entire body experience, emotional, intellectual. Every part of us has to engage Yiddishkeit. I worry I can share ideas with guys. We can learn Torah, but is the person like, is the person holding on? Is the person like marrying Torah? The word das is to marry the information that you know. I think singing helps for that a lot. I like saying ideas, but singing it after. So it's not, I don't sing words. See, I don't just like sing tunes, though tunes are great too. And you can get tremendous places from tunes. A lot of Nigunei Chabad, there's tremendous place to get from tunes, but a lot of things we're saying and incorporating and studying. So the Va'atam Tiuli Mamlechas Kanamekasha from the most, those are the words that preceded Kabbalah Satira. We're not just singing words, we're marrying a concept. I think song helps that a lot. It connects us to ideas in very meaningful ways. I want the mind, heart, every part of us to connect to Yiddishkeit. I think people are craving to connect, to feel Yiddishkeit, to experiencing it. So as such, I like singing things. That's the short of it, Aaron. Yeah. I do, yeah. Music's very, very powerful. In the Beis Hamikdash, there was music. It's always been a powerful force in Yiddishkeit. In many of the great Mussar yeshivas, we're into music. In Chachmei Lublin, Reb Meir Shapiro was very, very into singing. He was nifter ki yadua, the Bachram were dancing around his bed. But music's always been powerful in the Jewish nation. We have Shabbos Miras. Music's always been, it's not a new thing that the power of Nagina, tremendous power of song, Shirul Hashem. Music is, Mashiach's described the Shir Chadash, a new song. There's a passion, as you ran into Atzayar, there's a tremendous hadgash on music. As Yashir Maisha, these parashas Atar, Yitzias culminated with a song where we sang something. Shir is very, very powerful to express something, to connect to something, to bring something deeply in ourselves and to emote something from deep inside of ourselves. Music's always been very powerful. I want guys to see that learning is not like this just intellectual. It's a full body experience. I don't want just guys to see it. I want to experience that. So I think music is very, very powerful. Yeah, I really thank, I don't know everybody's timetable, but we kept everybody for an hour. Yehuda.
Yeah.
What was the official time? Did I go overtime already?
We had till 10:30, right?
It was 10. I think someone said 11. I think that's what someone said.
What time's the official time, Yehuda?
It's like this for
Rabbi, you're so on
everybody.
time now.
For everybody, it's 9 o'clock. For the Waterbury boys, they go until 12:01.
So the hour is late. I'll close like this. I am holding up a volleyball tournament here, and Mar asked for good moments. I actually won the last tournament. I played on Shlomo Guri's team. It's my first tournament victory here in 14 years. So
Wow.
a good moment. Shlomo's still tired, Chaim, from carrying me through these. It was grueling. The bottom line, I want to say to everybody here that we're a nation of idealists. We were started by Avram Avinu. The want and drive to share what we have is huge. But I want to say that Yiddishkeit is not a Ponzi scheme. I don't make him from to make him from to make him from. I am from. It's not a Ponzi scheme. So of course we're driven to share what we have. I say to us all, acquire, and share what you acquire. And the next person acquires and shares what he acquires. To speak to a group full of tzviki and chevra that are clearly idealists. You're in such a kollel, an idealistic kollel, run by an idealistic Rebbe. Reb Berkovits is an idealist. I dreamt when I was a youngster, I thought I was going to do kiruv. That was my dream. I told my wife on a date, we're going to move to Cincinnati and make all the Yidden from. It's not a chiddush the way I thought. I think any yid who learns Chumash and you start with Avram, so your dream is to be an idealist. He's our first father. So all of us, I'm speaking to idealists and I say, share it, bring it. I say that there's so much to do out there and so much we can do. We have the goods, come with confidence, confidence in yourself, confidence in your own soul, acceptance of your own soul. Come with confidence and bring it. Bring it, share with the world, share. We have tremendous gifts. The Torah is precious. I have two beliefs. A therapist in Muncie called me up a couple of years ago and he said, I've been following your career, Kalish. I figured you out. He said, you believe in people. There was a pause on the phone and he said, you're crazy. And I believe in people and I believe in Torah. We have souls. We have powerful souls. Shine your light. Shine your light. We're big stuff, all of us. We have big souls and we could shine our light places. And by appreciating our own self, what we are and what we have, we can impact the next person, seeing who they are and what they have. We're big people impacting big people. It's kiruv krivim and it's rechaikim being the kiruv rechaikim being the kiruv krivim. I haven't figured out who's Karav and Rachid yet. I'm still trying. Everybody has souls. So bring it. I say to everybody here, Ashreinu, that we have an army here of sincere people who are bursting, who are asking, am I ready yet? I don't know the day we're ready. I say to everybody there, in wanting to give out, I always wish I filled up more. So I say to everybody, fill up, grab every bit of learning we can, every bit of work on ourselves we can. Your jobs and your experiences, when you're being honest and you're being present to your job, will force more growth because you'll deal with a difficult person you're working for and with and about, and you'll have all different challenges. It's a world of challenges. When you're present to them and your inner world still matters, you'll have a lot of growth in the positions you're in. And you'll have a tremendous adventure and a positive of giving, the exhilaration of living what we're meant. All of us should have siyata d'shmaya to be successful internally in our inner world and to share that beautiful inner world. That's certainly beautiful inner world, the beautiful inner world of the person who's working on himself. Share that with the world impact. Make a tremendous, tremendous impact. Bring your light to communities, to classrooms with respect, with love. The people that respect others have the most impact. I believe that. The people that respect others. Sechayvus Alvavas, we'll close with this. The Chayvus Alvavas says that a chassid said he called himself a manik, not a manik. What's the word of Ezia B'chayvus Alvavas? He described that why was I zeicha to be a
Adam,
thank you, Chaimel. He said it was an Adain for his dar, like some boss of his generation. I don't assume he means like a king. I assume he means impact. And the chassid said the reason I was zeicha to have an impact is I didn't meet one person that I didn't see something that was bigger than myself. If we could see preciousness in others, we could have impact. Go out there, see greatness. Avram Avinu, the greatest impactor in history, was an ayin tov, is the first midah. He saw good in others, see good in yourself, self-acceptance, and go out there and be matzliach. All of us should be zeicha to have successful careers of steiging and passing on the light that we certainly are and have, of sharing that with the world. Hatzlacha, Rabbi. Have an excellent night. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you, Yehuda Deitch, for allowing, Ray Blackman. Thank you, Ashi, for arranging. Have an excellent night, Rabbi Singh.
Hatzlacha on your,
Thank you so much,
your
Rabbi.
volleyball
love
game,
you, Rabbi.
Thank you. I love you, Chaim. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Hi, Kalish, that was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Rabbi, go win the tournament. Hatzlacha, Rabbi. Thank you so much.
Cult of Chaim.
Rabbi.
Oh, yeah.
Kotem Chaim.
Yeah, he said hi.
What's the
Thank you.
Yitzi, sing again.
What's this volleyball tournament you
Kol
started?
Tov Chaim, Kol Tov.
See you guys.
Yehuda, did you switch your name?
Kol Tov Chaim, Kol Tov.
No, brother Figgy.
Basically,
That
Yitzi
long.
wants to know if there's any job available for him now.
Brother
Anybody know of any
Yitzi and
positions?
Avi.
I'm gonna work
there with Yitzi. Let's go.
No,
Is
Avi
it-
Rosen got the
when
job.
are-
Yeah,
when are
Avi
we
Rosen
doing
got
it?
the
Yitzi
job.
did not
Black,
ask
you heard what
Yitzi did
called
not
you a
ask
meme?
he did not ask a practical question.
volleyball tournament.
Oh, he did. He is looking
Rabbi
at.
Blackman, can we have volleyball tournaments in the
I love you, Rabbi
JK?
Blackman.
We have a trophy, best basketball.
I
so-
want Rabbi Blackman to play volleyball.
And I wasn't proud at all. I didn't even go.
Yehuda, what's this?
We'll have urban planning contests.
What's
So
this
Yitzi, I
volleyball?
wanted to hear your reaction to that. Yitzi.
All I care about is that Rabbi Blackman is precious.
Well, thank you so much, Yehuda. You're precious.
I don't care, whatever. Don't mention it.
You're implementing what Rabbi Kalish just taught you.
What?
Looking for the good in everything.